So today we're going to talk about compound interest. Yesterday we talked about simple interest. So when it's the amount of interest paid doesn't change each year, it's called simple interest. When the amount of interest paid changes each year, it's called compound interest. Compound interest earns you more money than simple interest if you invest for a long time. The same is true for the other way around. Compound interest makes you pay more money than simple interest does as well. So, formula. So the formula for compound interest is A equals P times 1 plus R to the T. So the A equals your account balance. P is principal. R is rate. And T is time. Our time must be in years again. So to convert months to years, you just divide by 12. Okay. So let's look at this. Mariah put $300 into a savings account that earned 2% compound interest. And how much money will Mariah have in her savings account after 1 year? How much interest did she earn? And that's supposed to be she. Alright, so this is actually what it looks like. So compound interest earns money off the first year. So when we do compound interest, we create a little table. When you're in 8th grade, you will start to use the formula more, but that's because you have a calculator, and multiplying decimals on a calculator many times together is easier. But since multiplying decimals 3 times, 4 times, 5 times together gets you a really long decimal, you're more likely to make a mistake. This table is actually easier to do. So you want to talk about the years and the starting balance, which is your principal. But your starting balance for that year. Then you want to actually solve for the interest using the simple interest formula. And then you will figure out what your interest is. Here's why we do this, is because compound interest takes simple interest from the first year so it takes simple interest every year. It takes simple interest on the balance of the information. Right? So what that means is that if her starting balance is 300, it's going to find the simple interest of that 300, which is 300 times 2% times 1. So 0.02 times 1. Well, 300 times 1 is 300 times 0.02. 0.02 of 300 is 6. So her interest gained that year is 6. Well, if she was good to calculate for another year, let me erase this 6 right here. We would start year 2. Well, her beginning balance would actually be 306 because she had $300. She added $6 of interest. Now she has $306. So this is what compound interest does. It just builds upon it every year. Okay? And since we're only calculating the interest for 1 year, notice that on my time, it's always 1 year. So you're really just doing P times R for this, for compound interest, which might be a little bit easier. So let's try this again. This time Nathan does want to know what it's going to be like after 2 years. So I need a table where I calculate after 2 years. So we have years, we have the first year, and then he's going to do it the second year. Right? So we want our starting, instead of saying starting balance, let's say balance. We have our balance. So his balance starts out at $1,250. $12,500. $12,000 not $12,000, $1,250. Sorry, lots of numbers today. With a compound interest rate of 5%. Sorry, it's my P and my R, and then my time is 2 years. Well, compound interest rate, I can do the table since I don't have calculator to help me with the decimals. I have PR times T. So we have 1,250 times our rate, which is 0.05, times T. And so remember, this is only for 1 year. So we only put it at 1 year. So really, we're just multiplying 1,250 times 0.05. When we do that, we get $62.50. So that's how much interest they earned that year. Okay, so Nathan earned $62.50. Well, now, on year 2, he doesn't have $1,250 in his bank account. He has, where we add that number and that number together. Let me write that, 1,250 plus $62.50. And we get $1,312.50. So now he has more money. And so what's he going to do? He's going to earn more interest. So we have to figure out what interest. So now our principal is now $1,312.50. Our rate doesn't change, and our time is still 1 year. So we're just multiplying $1,312.50 times 0.05 for the rate. And we get $65.62. Well, not 62, $60.625. Well, since it's money, the 5 tells us to round up on the 2. So our answer is actually $65.63. This is a lot. I know that this is hard to understand, and it's a lot, but we will practice this in class more, and we'll practice it for the next few days. Okay. So we have $65.63. So now his account balance after everything is going to be his starting balance of his second year, which is $1,312,250 plus $65.63, which is $1,378. Whoops, tried to zoom out and I accidentally write $1,300, $1,378.13. Know it's a long process, but this is just to gain an understanding about what compound interest is. So when y'all come back to class, we will be able to dive more into how to do compound interest.